All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to Apostle and elders in the York GMS, and salutations to the Around world that's teaching truth and putting their lives on line for. My name is Maya Ka'ala, Bum Guide, with Chicago branch of Great Millstone. Like to make a disclaimer that we are not black Hebrew Israelite. Black is a color, not a nationality. We are the Israelites. The Israelites are the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds scattered abroad. Speckled birds are Israelites who look like other nations, but their paternal bloodline go back to the 12 patriarchs of Israel. All right, so this is an interesting article from Tablet magazine. I seen this was brought up by what's his name? What is that brother name? Just Shub. And he was debating on Garfield on Garfield channel, DACA Squad, man. All right, so just bring it to you, Aki, man. It's Tablet. The Tablet's a Jewish website. Yep, there you go, right there. All right, so everybody want to talk about this one of damn memes, man, off the internet. All right, so there you go, man. Tablet. How the hell I put this back? All right, so there you go, right there, man. All right, so this is an article. It says the Black Kohens. All right, everybody know the name Kohen is Hebrew. All right, it said Kohen Hebrew. Priest is a Jewish surname of biblical origins. All right. It was actually Kahan. All right, Kahan. It's a very common Jewish surname. The following information. All right, it said bearing a surname, although not always, indicates one patrilineal ancestor of the priest of the Temple Jerusalem. All right, so that's because your last name called Kahan or Kohen. Those mean your ancestor were Levitical priests. All right. All right, but this article proving there it's coming out every day, man, that the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans and the speckled birds out the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. It says Psalms 85:11, truth shall spring out of earth and righteousness shall look down from heaven. All right, so truth is coming out that the so-called Negros, Latinos, Native Americans are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, man. All right, this is getting out, man, and you adversaries, man. You could do all the scoffing. You could make all the damn videos and shit. You could run the Esau, DNA science, all this shit, man. All right, you're not going to keep the truth from coming out, man. All right, it said a scary African American named Cohen NFL just the tip of the D for American Cohen tail. All right, talking about Judah. It said, my house, we are forever on the lookout for outstanding athletes named Cohen. We believe such figure will open our minds to alternative future and possibility. We had enough lawyers, it said endocrinologists, enough journalists and accountants. We have plenty of criminals, but they tend to be of white-collar variety. We want people who can advance the ball, play the body, work above the rim, which is why I was so pleased when the Chicago Bears, my favorite football team, selected with a 4th round pick in 2017 NFL draft is second Cohen in 5 years. There had been Atlanta Cohen, who played 13 games as defensive tackle for the Bears in 2013. Now, there have been Tariq Cohen, a fleet running back. He was ours, and we take him. Tariq Cohen has some Bear fans searching for Jewish connections. Is how the Chicago Tribune headline. Though he did not fit the profile typical congregate of North Shore congregation of Israel, right? So everybody believed that that the real Jews are like these little smiling white people, man. All right, so-called white people, they're Edomites. All right, it says it wasn't that he was short, only 5'6". A lot of us are short, or they were harder, almost anyone else. Some of us had the ethnic too. Is that he was black, right? Dark skin, brown skin, man, dark brown. It said Atlanta Cohen is also black. I asked most of the Cohens who played in the NFL. Landon, Abe, Tariq, Dustin, Joe Mondale. Only Dustin, Abe were white, and only Abe was Jewish. All right. There are plenty of black Jews from Africa. All right, I mean dark skin, dark brown. You probably know that the Ethiopian Jews carry their ancient Bibles as cells. All right, those Cushites. All right. Now, there are Israelites in Ethiopia, All right. It said the Lemba, those Israelites nation claimed they had tradition. They led out by Jill by the name Bubba. Niggas Ray wrote in the New York Times in 1999, they practice searching, keep one day a week holy, and avoid eating pork and peel like amateurs at the hippopotamus. What's more, a team of genetics found that many women carrying a male chromosome that set a DNA sequence that distinct Cohen Jewish people lead the descendants. Now, I've seen the episode where they did a test to the limb. They said, no, they not Israelites. They are Shemitic, they not Israelites. These are trying to pull that. Why? Because these people are dark-skinned. All right, to push out that Edomite supremacy, so-called white supremacy. Hence, black Cohen. But Landon Cohen come from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Tariq Cohen grew up in Bond, North Carolina. It said both men, in fact, raised part of the South where Cohen, a name tend to identify with the Hebrew priesthood class, is not unusual among African Americans. All right, so Judah. It's according to the recent census, Cohen is 871st most common surname among African Americans. All right, so-called African Americans. 2 places behind Hayden, 8 places below Lomax. Of the 86,266 American and Cohen, 4,806 are black. How did it happen? Where do all these black Cohens come from? It was a riddle if I could answer, but I would not only prove myself bare from possibly come to understand about the tangled history of my nation. All right, it said, I began to search books and papers, talk to historians, genealogists. Everyone had a notion that no one seemed to know for sure. It was like detective story. I could apply theories, have a way to explain mystery. There was not one answer, it seemed, but many half-dozen tributaries came together to form a mighty river of black Cohens. Some told me it was adoption. Jewish couples named Cohen adopted black children who went on to have Cohen children of their own, some taking up profession in law, some in medicine, some in the field. But 871st on the list translates to many thousand people, most who are not Jewish, meaning adoption alone can contribute modestly. Jeff Chavez, the New York Times Magazine, said 2% of African American Jews are black. Most black Cohens are, in fact, Christians. So where? All right, so it's not what they said above, man. It says some told me that black Cohen had been civil rights babies. The products appear between Jewish actors and actors. The result sometimes being long marriages, a family filled with houses, sometimes being short flames and father children who carried the name Cohen. One professor told me some black Cohens surely came from Black Power movement actors who identified themselves members of the lost tribe as the real Jews. Then further identified Cohen high priest. Mention was made of Michelle Obama's cousin, Rabbi Capus Fanay, leader of the Black Hebrew congregation of Southside Chicago. All right, so it was his name Black Hebrew, remember, Israelites. Fanay converted to Jew in the 1970s, saying that in the faith, better way to worship. All right, but he himself, he said he didn't convert. He said basically going back to his heritage. All right. It said when he went off to college at Harvard University, he was conventional Christian son of Upper East Side parent. Jeff Chavez wrote, but was moved by the radical atmosphere of the day, black national, Afrocentric, cultural separation in vogue. For they can see Christianity as an alien religion imposed on blacks by white slave masters, was a fact true. All right, the plantation Christianity. For they currently sits on Chicago board rabbi, presumed there were thousands like him, some became Cohens. All right. It said common sense suggests that many black Cohen descended slaves and that the slaves had been named for their owners. Among the most common African names of Washington Jefferson, then the first and third president on slaves. So what about Cohen? Couldn't the prevalence of the name black community 871st be a shameful reminder a never to be scrubbed off scarlet as at a time of Jews who each Passover spoke of flight of bondage and took their place among the slave masters and slave traders. All right, total Amalekites, all right, those fake Jewish people. It said many black Cohens do not come from. Many black Cohens do come from. It said many black Cohens do come from former slave states, especially if it's in Charleston, South Carolina, which is one of the great Jewish metropolis. It says at the start of the 19th century, there were more Jews in Charleston, close to 10% of white population than any American city. It's an elegant town of wooden houses overlooking the harbor, Baltimore clipper ships edging the horizon. Many Jews worked in the rice, cotton, and lucrative indigo trade. The color blue grown perceived barrels shipped to the mills, England. Among the great merchants were Mordecai Coleman, a Polish Jew who immigrated in 1700. Cohen built a fortune and led the town's congregation, worshiped God, said prayers, and owned slaves. He brought his son David a plantation that shows retreat, which according to Susan Asher, writing in the fort, is a large estate over 1,000 acres, Ashley River. All right, and a Polish Jew, a lot of Polish Jews are Jace, man. All right, they had Negro, mulatto-like, light-skinned mulatto features, man. All right, so that's what that guy he could have been, man. All right, so all the people they slaved their own, man. All right, it said David Cohen was known as mean and vicious master, having escaped soldier retreat. A slave named Jim made it to Maine, where in 1833 he told a story to abolition. It said, you suspect that no part of the modern community of Black Cohen descend from slaves of Mordecai and David Cohen, but you mostly be wrong. The Charleston Cohen's owned almost 30 slaves, according to Eli Faber of John Jay College. The Jews of that city at 1790 altogether owned 93 slaves, not nearly enough to give birth to the current population. All right, so that theory is thrown out the window. All right, so it couldn't be because they own, because they was Cohen, they own a lot of slaves. They own some slaves. The numbers don't add up. But it's more country to milk. The most free slaves did not take the names their former owner. Most choose names after emancipation, which is probably why so many black families are called Washington Jefferson. Those were the founders of the country, the heroes at every church and school. In other words, some blacks took the name Cohen just because they liked it. All right, which is not true, man. All right, it says, all right. It said mostly black Cohen probably result from consensual relations long ago. Many such affairs happened in the Caribbean, especially Jamaica, and in years colonization. Most of the islands populated described population Portuguese and fat Jewish, the Sephardim. All right, these were dark skinned Negro looking Jews, man. They was our people. All right. Seraphina, who didn't come across the sea, a step of the Inquisition with the Spanish imposed whenever they ruled. The Jews on the Spanish rule either convert or follow Jesus. All right, sweet Jesus, sweet white Jeebus. All right, all right, the pale sweet white Jeebus. All right, so these so-called Edomites are not white. It said new Christians converted but kept up their old practice in secret conversion or fled. Many arrived from Jamaica and Brazil, where they been the sugar trade. They live in a grand house in Kingston, big porches sweeping the views of the ocean. They work in every instant out of summer sugar, summer construction. Others turn to more adventurous, dangerous life at the sea. Gilson wrote in the Jerusalem Post. Captain of ships bearing names like Queen Esther, Prophet Samuel, Seal, Shield of Abraham, Jewish slave began roaming the Caribbean in search of the riches. It says, among the notorious of the Hebrew pirates, Cohen, Moses Cohen Hendricks, together with a Dutch folk hero, Admiral Piantus Hendricks, captured Spanish treasure off the Cuba as Matanza in 1628. Stanton wrote the booty of gold and silver bullion amounted to a staggering 11,509,524 guilders, worth around the U.S. 1 billion in today's currency. All right, all right, 11,509,524 guilders. All right, it's another Jewish pirate named Yaakov Correa had been seen through the arch of his light, gave up the sea for holy city of Safed, where he studied divine images with famed Kabbalist Isaac Lurie. Jewish pirates Caribbean 100 that worked in square red ships, sea hawk painters mixed with Ladino. They pay attention to the Spanish while seeking vengeance on their nation for what they had done to the Hebrews. All right, so these Jakes, man. Most legendary buccaneers, it was indeed Jewish. This debate was John Lafayette, who teamed with the General Andrew Jackson to drive the British out of New Orleans. Lafayette, some said to be a variant of Levite. The following words found in the Bible after he died, 1823, that I owe my great intuition of my grandmother, a Spanish Jewish who was an eyewitness to the Inquisition. I said, these were our people, man. It's an older time the Jew of Jamaica, not just Jamaica, intermarried, had children, many who were black, and few of them were raised as Jews. They procreate their way right out of narrative exile, began to the old Jewish nation. Cohen was common surnames. About 424,000 modern Jamaica said to descend from the old Sephardic community. Just 20,000 current identified Jews. Only around 200 kept the faith. There's an old synagogue island, Sharia Shalom in Kingston, but it's often empty. In Jamaica, Cohen is like that synagogue, a relic, an artifact, a shell empty of the original meaning. Kin to the chipped gravestones, Jamaican Jewish cemeteries at Hunts Bay and St. Andrews, said to be the oldest Jewish cemetery in the hemisphere. The Hebrew letters faded. The spread finger hands indicating the graves of long gone Cohen. All right, Levites, man. All right, it's 1,000 Jamaicans immigrated in the United States over the century. Many were named Cohen. That's a large source of black Cohens. Take example, Vince Cohen, a great black attorney in the Civil Rights era, born in Brooklyn in 1936, the son of farmers, had immigrated from Jamaica. It said Vince Cohen won the basketball scholarship to Syracuse University, where he roamed with Jim Brown. Taking the NBA draft, he skipped the pros and went to law school instead. He worked at Justice Department Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, then became the first African-American partner at his firm. According to the obituary that ran the Washington Post, Mr. Cohen was raised a Catholic. Often had to explain how he acquired his last name with typical associated people of Jewish origin. According to the family lore, the name derived from a group of black Jews who settled in Jamaica. All right. Something similar happened in the United States, contributing population of black Cohen. Intermarriage affairs can be intuit from scant details and found. Many black Cohens seem to descend from a single relationship. Circa 1715, Moses Cohen, an impoverished Portuguese Jew, sailed from London to Charleston, where he became one of the city's religious leaders. All right. Special day to Dale Rosengarten, the historian and curator of college of Charleston, for the help of the history of Jews in South Carolina. Moses had two sons, Abraham Solomon, who he sent to North Georgetown, South Carolina. Even now, it looks like a watercolor pastel shacks, sleeping inlet, seagrass. Georgetown was in process of becoming an agricultural hub. All right. It says by 1814, the port was shipped half rights to the United States. It was a Jewish center as well, although proportionally only 10% of white population Jews held this portion role and large role in civic life, according to the Jewish Historical Society of South Carolina. Before the beginning of the 10th century, there had been 5 Jewish entities, a major or city: Surname Cohen, Abraham Myers, Aaron Lopez, Surname Cohen Jr., and Louis Eldridge. Georgetown was a slave capital, the largest slavery in the United States. Joshua John Ward, king of rice planters, he owned more than 1,000 slaves listed in the area. All right. It said Abraham Cohen made a fortune in Georgetown planting rice and indigo and trading human beings. What did he look like? Probably like everyone else you ever met. Only old-fashioned clothes, shiny boots, brass button, velvet coat. He never married but had a long-term consort, kind of a common law wife. She identified in a record as Peggy. All right, Margaret McWhorter. All right, 1745, 1806. A free person of color. Geologists and independent scholars saw that Dave Price, who had made a study of black Cohen, unearthed a legal document akin to the will which Cohen left his money, probably to McWhorter and her offspring. There's no way to prove these were Abraham Cohen's children, but come on. So here in a way, Adam, you likely have a mother and a father, a great number of black Cohens. A generation so late emancipated slave named Jim Robinson himself was mixed parentage, a child of a slave named Melvina Shields, and an unknown white man had a son named Fraser Rabin, who grew up and married a Georgetown woman named Rose Ella Cohen. Rose Ella is the only named family tree. We know nothing about her name, Sir Resident, but 2 points suggest you might descend from Abraham Cohen and Peggy McWhorter. Fraser Robinson and Rose Ella Cohen had a son their own. Fraser Robinson Jr. moved to Chicago and married LaVon Johnson, who had a son named Fraser Robinson III, who, before he returned to Georgia, had a daughter named Michelle Robinson, who became the first African lady of the United States. In other words, the story of Black Cohen is a story of America. Is a sin, redemption, the good and bad. Is Abraham, is Peggy, is love and heritage. Is a hodgepodge, Paris mess. And beautiful thing is everyone being a part, everyone else, all story mixed together and shook up and poured out. It offered reason to blame, reason to forgive, important messages, journeys filled with link. Michelle Obama said her essence is somewhere there was a slave owner, a white family in my great grandfather time that gave him a place, a home, helped him build a life. And again, let me so where are these people? I would argue just as much part of the history of my grandfather. All right. The point is, man, you got all these so-called Negros with the surname Cohen. All right, and it didn't come from majority of the name didn't come from no damn slavery or somebody popping a great grandmother, man. All right, they kept these names, man. They kept these identity, proving they are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. So, shalom.